Okay, so today we're going to work on a star stitch baby blanket. So for this pattern, like I said, I'm making a baby blanket, but you can really make this pattern whatever size you want. If you want it to be bigger than a baby blanket, it's just going to matter, your starting chain is what's going to determine the width of this blanket. Okay, so I'm going to explain how you can make it longer. It's just important that you adjust the size by keeping it in groups of 2, and I'll explain what I mean. So basically, go ahead and make your chain as long as you want the width of your blanket to be, just keeping in mind that it has to be basically an even number at the end, and then 1 extra chain. Okay, so like I said, you can follow this pattern exactly for a baby blanket. So the hook that I'm using is a 5mm crochet hook. You can use whatever size hook, whatever kind of yarn you want. It really doesn't matter for this pattern. So we're going to start with our slip knot. And just keep in mind that this does not count as one of our chains, okay? So I'm making a baby blanket, like I said, and I'm just going to start with my chain. So for those of you that are not sure how to do a chain, I mean, I do have free crochet lessons on my channel, so feel free to watch that too. But you're just going to yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. Okay, so continue on with your chain to make it as long as you want it to be. Remember to keep it, it has to be in groups of 2, so it's got to be an even number, and then add 1 at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 121. So make your chain as long as you need it to be for the size, for the width of the blanket that you want, and then come back. Okay, so now that you've finished your chain, we're going to start with our stitches. So going from the second chain from the hook, so there's your first chain from the hook, there's your second, sorry, you are going to push your hook through that second chain and just pull up a loop. So now you have 2 loops on your hook. You're just going to keep them there. So just place your finger on it to keep it in place, and you're going to go into that very next chain and pull up another loop, and go into the next chain and pull up another loop, and you're going to continue until you have 4 loops on your hook. So we're going to go in, till you have 6. Go into that next chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go into 1 more to pull up another loop. Now we have 6 loops on our hook. We're just going to yarn over and pull right through all 6 loops that are on our hook. Okay? And we're going to chain 1 to sort of close that off and create what we're going to call the eye. Okay? Okay. So now our next step, we are going to put our hook right into the center of that little eye, that chain 1 we did. And we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And then when you're looking at the star that you just made, you're going to see these posts. So you're going to push your hook into that last post and pull up a loop. Now you've got 3 on your hook. And then what you're going to do is just locate that stitch that your last post went into. Push your hook through, pull up a loop. Now we've got 4 stitches, or 4 loops on our hook, and we are going to go into the following stitch, pull up a loop, and then 1 more to pull up a 6th loop. And then we're going to yarn over, pull through all 6, yarn over to chain 1. Okay, so you're going to begin to see it take shape. Let's do another couple of these together. So we're going to go right into the eye of that stitch, pull up a loop. We are going to go into that last post, pull up a loop, okay, go into the last stitch that the post was worked into, pull up a loop, go into the following stitch, pull up a loop, one more stitch, oh sorry, and pull up our sixth loop, 1 2 3 4 5 6, yarn over and pull, oh sorry about that, see, it's okay, make mistakes. Oh my goodness, why am I having a hard time with this one? Yarn over, and we are going to pull through. There we go, I got it. All 6 loops, chain 1, and let's do another one together. Okay, and don't be afraid to kind of pull it apart a little to see what you're looking at. Okay, so you should have 5 posts. There's 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, you're going to push through the eye, pull up a loop, go into that last post there between it, pull up a loop, into the last stitch from that same star, pull up a loop, go into the following stitch, pull up another loop, and one more stitch to pull up our 6th loop, yarn over and pull through all 6 and chain 1. Okay, so you're just going to continue on following this very same pattern all the way down your chain and come back when you get to the end. Okay, so when you've gotten to the end and you finish that very last one, and you've gone into you've completely finished your row, you're just going to single crochet, you're going to half double crochet into that very last stitch where you just finished off from. Okay, you're going to half double crochet and you're going to turn your work. Okay, so now that you've turned your work, you're going to do a chain 1 to start off the next row, and then right into that very first stitch there, you're going to do a single crochet. Okay, now when you're looking at this row, you're going to see for every single one of these stitches that you did, the eye of every, remember we called that the eye, that circle that you used to close off each one. So in the very first one of the row, you're going to do 1 single crochet. And we're going to find the next one, there it is, and we're going to do 2 single crochets in that same one. So that's 1, and we're going to do another one. We're going to find the next one and do 2 single crochets. And that's what you're going to do for this row. You're just going to go all the way down the entire row, and in every single one of those eyes you're going to do 2 single crochets and then come back. Okay, when you get to the end of your row, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in that last stitch. Okay, you're going to turn your work. And you're going to chain 2. Okay? Okay, now here's where it gets a little bit confusing. So you've turned your work and you chain 2. And so when you make a chain, look down at the chain below the one where your hook is in right now. And you're going to see a little string. And then it's almost like there's a string separating from the other string. So one chain makes up like 3 little strings. This is the part that's, I think, really hard to read in a pattern, which is why I think it's important to have a tutorial for something like this. But here's how we're going to start this row. So you're just going to take your hook and you're going to push it just past that first little string in the chain. Pull up a loop. And then you're going to go to the other side of it and just push it. Sorry, the angle is so awkward. Push it through. Just on the other side of where you just did. My tension was a little bit much there, so it was hard to push it through, okay? Okay, so now you have 3 loops on your hook, and then you're just gonna go right down into the base of where you made the chains, push it through, pull up a loop. So now you've got 4, and now we extend. So you're gonna go into the first stitch of this next row here. You're going to push it through and pull up a loop. Push it through and pull up a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are on your hook. Okay, so now with all 6, just like the very first row we did, we're going to yarn over and pull right through all 6. Yarn over to close it and make the eye of that star. So now, if you remember how to do this step, you're going to push it through here, right through the eye, pull up a loop. Now you have 2. You're going to go and push it through the last post, pull up a loop, that gives you 3. You're going to go right into that stitch where the post is coming from, pull up a loop, that gives you your 4, and now we extend. We're going to go into the next stitch of the row, pull up a loop, and go into the following stitch of the row and pull up a loop. Now you've got your 6 on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 6, close it off to make the eye. And you're just going to now continue on with this pattern the same way as we did these. You have to follow the same thing. So for the first row, we did what we're doing right now. The second row, we went in and did our single crochets in the eyes. And now we're on the third row, which we're going back to the first. So it's just, it takes 2 rows to complete 1 full row of star stitches. So for more help on how to do this, how to finish this row or whatever part you're having issues with, just rewind back this video and it's just going to repeat, this pattern's just going to repeat itself from here. So you're just going to keep on going until you reach the desired size of your blanket. And if you need help with sizing, go ahead and click the link. If you're watching this from DIY from Home website, then you just can click for the blanket size chart. And if you are watching this from YouTube, go ahead and click in the description below a link to the website for DIYfromhome.com. And you can find this pattern on that page as well as a link to the blanket size charts.